I would then like to please welcome our last speaker. The World Intellectual Property Day theme for this year was Women and IP, Accelerating Innovation and Creativity. And I think Kareema is going to give us a lovely talk on her creativity and accelerating innovation. So I would like to welcome Kareema Shaik to the stage, please.
Hi, everyone. See some familiar faces. So thanks for the intro, Maureen. I'm Kareema. I used to be a lawyer at Adams & Adams, and I frequented the Kramer, so it's weird to be in a different role. But my discussion today is super chilled, so kick back, relax. There's no technical IP terms. I'm just going to talk about my life, and hopefully you can glean something positive from it, something good. But yeah, oh, that's my face. Okay, so I'm the co-founder of Rezia's Pickle. We're a very small business based in Pretoria East, my face again. And we produce or supply pickles, sauces, and spice mixes, all Indian style. Our products are made from fresh ingredients in small batches, and they're all homemade and packaged in environmentally friendly packaging as far as possible. So, my mom and I, that's my mom in the middle, we are both from Kimberley originally. My mom's actually lived there her whole life, and my timer is not running, Maureen. So it means I have all the time in the world. So my mom's lived in Kimberley her whole life. My parents were small business owners. You know, that typical cafe down the road, the Indian uncle who sold, if you needed at 11 o'clock at night, your emergency bread, your nappies. And I mean, let's just throw in an FM radio because that's what that shop sold. But yeah, so he passed away quite some time ago. We sold the business, and my mom was enjoying her retirement as boomers do by working voluntarily at a local school. But she decided in 2019 to relocate to Pretoria, to move in with me. If you're brown, you know this is normal. But the problem was she came from a very small, tight-knit community in Kimberley, and she moved to Security Estate, where your neighbors avoid eye contact, you don't know their names. So it was a massive adjustment for her. So what does the boomer do? She starts cooking. And she started making our pickles and sauces. These have always been like a staple in our home, in the kitchen, on the kitchen table, in the fridge. And I think we sort of took it for granted. And then because the house was filling up now with achar, Indian pickles, achar, I had to give them away. So I started to give them to colleagues at work. Some of you are in the audience, and to my friends. And the feedback that we got was really positive. People loved it and they asked for more. And that sort of like snowballed into, oh, we're running a business. And then we were actually invited, or well, we were told about a little street side market in one of the leafy suburbs of Pretoria by a colleague of mine who's in the audience. And we thought, why not? Let's just go. And again, the feedback from that market was really positive. And I think that was when we realized that we have something special on our hands. There's a problem here that we've identified and that we can solve. Because when you listen to small business talk, they always talk about the problem. What problem are you solving? And so I've only learned this recently, guys. So what we discovered from all these initial interactions was that Pretoria people, but I think largely South Africans, love a little bit of spice. Not too much, but a little bit of spice. They also love Indian food. But the problem was, when it comes to pickles, for instance, a lot of South Africans know it as achar and as mango achar. And this is something you either eat with your curry, or you throw it in your bunny, or with your bunny, or your kota, or whatever you want to call it. So it's not really largely marketed to the wider demographic of South Africa, and they wouldn't know how to eat it. You find pickles, there's a lot of home industries in South Africa, usually aunties that look like that, that make pickle, and they sell them in the local spice shops, the Indian spice shops, the butcheries, but they're not marketed to other demographics and not in a upmarket artisanal way. So we found a gap there, especially in Pretoria, but now largely throughout South Africa. So we really found a gap in the market and the demand was quite high. We also found new ways to innovate, not only the products, but how to use the products. So these are traditional pickles, but our target market was very different to the regular target market. So then we're like, what do our people, our customers like to do? They braai, they have cheese boards, they have charcuterie boards. So why not show them how to incorporate the pickles in their daily lifestyles? And then the other problem we noticed was that people love a good curry, but your options in South Africa are either really upmarket, super fancy, usually dim lighted restaurants, and that's reserved often for special occasions, or you get your takeaway hole in the wall, which has its place and often the best curry with your plastic chairs, the best curry, but there was nothing in between. But obviously not at that stage. We couldn't open up our own little restaurant, but we could make curries more accessible to the broader community. And this actually stemmed from a colleague at the office. See how valuable that experience was. And also from one of our markets, people, not one, all of them, in fact, someone would inevitably come up to my mom, who was very legitimate looking as an Indian mommy, and ask her, why is my rice floppy? And why is my curry not creating gravy? And why is this not fluffy? And my mom became a sort of an agony aunt on curry making and all things cooking. And from that, we created an entire new product as our spice mixes, which it's in one of those pictures, that's the butter chicken. But the spice mix, what's great about it, it has her home cooked recipe at the back, very easy to follow, very simple. And it also created an emotional connection with the customer, which I think they really enjoyed and they really liked. And a lot of people are now making world-class butter chicken in their homes, and it's all because of that lady there in the middle. So yeah, so that's our story. Oh, well, maybe I missed a whole slide. So after lockdown, lockdown happened and we had an opportunity to really think about where we want to go with the business, what we want to do, product development, and also work on our branding. And so it was very important for us for our product to be a little bit high end, a luxury item, but still it's pickle, guys. So still approachable, still a bit artisanal, so that we could appeal to a larger demographic of people. And after lockdown, there was a sort of a change in trends, in consumer habits, if you would. We noticed that, and it was a large part, I think, of our success of having done this for now over a year. There was a huge, like a conscious effort to support local, to support small, to know where your food's coming from, and to know what's in your food. And that just aligned with what we were doing. And I think the huge part of our success is that drive to support small and local. And it was also during this time that we got so busy, and I had to make a decision. Do I do this dual life, corporate in the day, stir in the pots at night, or do I make a decision? And the decision was quite easy, and it's been October last year was when I left Adams, and it's been a year now. So, but then also, yeah, so that's the team. And so my mom in the middle, super traditional, really skilled cook, but also very, very conservative and doesn't really want to experiment. So I am the, think out of the box element of this dynamic, and I push her to come up with new product developments. And so we have a good friction, I would say. And then we've got Fortunate, who was our domestic worker, but who showed great interest in like the production side of things from the beginning. So she has now got a full-time job with us as a production manager. And one of our great purposes of this business is to break the cycle of generational poverty in Fortunate's family, which is going to happen. With the success of the business, her success will also come. So that's been great. So now I must go through our challenges and successes. One of our greatest success is being featured in not one, but two videos by celebrity chef David Higgs, who is co-owner of the Marble Group, but also the Pantry in Rosebank. And the Pantry is actually was one of our first big retailers, and both the videos and being at the Pantry gave the business or our products a lot of legitimacy and a lot of exposure. And we were also invited to participate at Commerce. It's a local lifestyle and design show, so they move around the country. They have a show in Stellenbosch, Pretoria, and Joburg, like twice a year. And that led to a lot of doors opening for us. We had a lot of retail opportunities from that. And we also were featured in the Fair Lady magazine because of a Commerce feature that they did. And this really helped boost the business. And it just goes to show how much advertising is important. And even though you don't have a budget, and Instagram is also a very valuable free tool. But yeah, David Higgs enjoys the lemon pickle, which is also our slowest seller. But since he started posting about it, sales for that have increased. So that's been great. Some of our challenges, I mean, apart from working with a parent, which is both a massive blessing, but can be very challenging. I would say our major challenge is that neither of us are actually food experts or in the food industry, like food science experts. I am a lawyer, and going into this industry blind, not knowing like basic things, like where do I get my lemons from? Like where do I get my packaging from? So it's been a massive learning curve on that front especially, but through trial and error, we've developed some great relationships with suppliers, and a lot of them are actually small local business. So that's been great. And it's been good to like give back in that sense and support each other. And my mom is also a home cook. So for us to sit down, and a very instinctive cook, just throw a little bit of that, wait till this is done. Like I can't cook a curry with those instructions. So it was challenging to sit down and get the recipes out from her, but then also, you know, to get your product shelf ready, to think about expiry and those kind of things. Those were challenges. But we live and learn. What I found is that, you know, everyone wants to support small business. So all you have to do is actually ask. Everyone's happy to have a chat with you, to impart some knowledge, to share their experience, to share their contacts. So all you have to do is go up to someone, ask them, and that could open doors for you. And I think I adopted that philosophy very early in the process. And that audacity has brought me to this point, I think. So yeah, I have 2 minutes left. Okay, the way forward. So there's been a lot of growth in the past year for the business and for me. And we'd just like to maintain that momentum and keep it going. We would love to be in a lot more retail stores throughout the country, especially in Cape Town, which somehow we've got a massive client base in Cape Town, but no retailers. So if you have an uncle with a deli or a grocery store, hit me up after the show. But yeah, the idea for us, or the dream, if you would, is to make Rizia's Pickle a household brand, like an iconic South African brand, like along the lines of Oma or Lipton. Is Lipton a local brand? Or even Mrs. Ball's chutney. Jenny is shaking her head, not Lipton. Lion Matches, there we go, that's the one. Okay, and that is me, guys. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you so much, Kareema. And you're well in 1 minute 42 seconds to go.
Steven's not even noticing.
No, well done. Thank you so much, and you've left us enough time for any questions. I'll start off with our virtual. No questions there. Anyone in the group in the room who'd like to ask Kareema a question? Okay. I have a question for you, Kareema. What do you think are the pros and cons of starting your own business as an attorney?
So I think as an attorney, I was used to a certain level of professionalism. And I find in the manufacturing industry that that's not, especially in small business. I don't think a lot of people take you seriously as a small business. Emails go unanswered, trying to give someone business and they don't want your small business. So that's been frustrating. Coming from a leading law firm in the country where, you know, the response time is pretty quickly. But also I think like in terms of pros, I've been trained to work well under pressure. And even though I was a cog in the wheel, I'm now the whole wheel. I'm the tire, I'm the pressure, I'm even the petrol attendant, filling the pressure at the station.
Yes.
So it's been a massive juggle to be everything in the organization, but also really rewarding at the same time.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, big congratulations to you and your mom. I think you've done really well, and I think everyone else will agree as well. But thank you so much, Kareema. Oh, one question. Yes.
Okay, nice story. But what I missed in the story, I think it's stemming from my expectation with relations to the IP and the thing. I mean, yes, what's your take of
Register your
view?
trademark.
No, I'm saying
From my perspective, yes.
from your perspective. So I was like, I mean, I came here to understand, I mean, your leap, and then how does this, I mean,
No, I
fits?
understand. Yeah.
Yes, you get the gist there.
Yes. So I think in terms of my technical experience and my qualifications, I'm obviously trying to do everything right. So if you're starting a business, I was actually encouraged to register my trademark very early, and I registered it quite aggressively, like different aspects of it. When I discussed with my graphic artist the packaging design and the logo and the branding, I made sure that she signed a copyright deed of assignment, because if you've been attending Kramer, you should know by now that the copyright in those kind of things often rests with the author. So she will own that copyright until I take assignment of it. And I've also tried to keep a track record of my use of my brand, sales, marketing, all of that forms part of your business's reputation and the larger goodwill of your business. So one day when someone offers me millions of rands for my business, I will be able to pull all of that up and send it to someone like Lita and Darren to evaluate for me and value my business eventually. So that's the one thing that I brought from my former life into my new life. Yes. Yeah, do those things. Do those things. Chat to your lawyer, chat to your IP attorney. Make sure that you're crossing all your T's, dotting all your I's in terms of IP. The first place you start with is your logo, your trademark. So register your trademark. The second thing you need to look at is your copyright. Where does copyright lie? If you've got a product, it may exist in the product design, it may exist in the packaging, it may exist in any other marketing materials, even your website. If someone creates a website for you or writes content for your website, copyright exists in all of that. So get advice from your IP attorney regarding how you can get all of that in your name so that it's a protectable, valuable asset for your business. Is that helpful?
Okay. Thank you so very much. Well, it's nice to know that at least Kareema is still part of us as a consultant specializing in trademark prosecution and litigation. So she's still with us, which is great. Thank you so much, Kareema.
Thanks, Maureen.
It has
Can we
been
give it up
wonderful.
for our host as well?
Thank you so much.